Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of A Successful Transition from Monogamy to Open. And for the next 2 weeks, we are going to talk about some foundation building because I'm a big believer that especially in any type of open relationship, it is extremely important you have a solid foundation. Because when you're making the kind of changes that we tend to make, when we get into the various types of open relationships, you will find that if you don't have as strong a foundation as you think you do, the types of things that we tend to do are going to shine a very bright light on all of the flaws and all of the cracks in your foundation. And it makes it that much harder to be successful than it does if you start with ensuring that you already have a strong foundation. And as much as I know people want to get into all the talk about jealousy and compersion, I really see that as much more advanced issues to be talking about, so that if you don't have a strong foundation to begin with, it's too difficult to really wrap your head around things like jealousy and compersion and how to deal with them effectively. So that's why I want to start for the next 2 weeks with going over more foundational work. Now, this piece I did about 7-8 months ago, so it was long before I started this group. So while a few of you who followed my Dr. Rhoda page have seen this before, many of you have not, and even those of you who've seen it can still get benefits out of this. This piece I put together from a number of different resources. The first one is a book called Making Intimate Connections by Dr. Albert Ellis. Dr. Albert Ellis was a very famous psychologist. He's no longer with us. He was very famous in the 1960s, 70s, 80s. And I think this was probably one of his last books that he co-authored. It's a thin little paperback book. You can get it on Amazon. It's a very easy read. And I picked it up probably about 12 or 13 years ago at a period in my husband and I's marriage where things were, let's just say, not going very well. And we had a period where we knew we loved each other. We knew we wanted to make it work. We just didn't know how. We did not know how to fix the issues we were having. And unfortunately, there was a period where literally we were on the verge of divorce. And I think some of these concepts that I learned really helped save us, so that the last probably 10 to 11 years have been the absolute best of our entire marriage. So, and divorce is nowhere even on our minds. It doesn't even occur to us anymore. So these simple changes can make a big difference. Now, I'm not going to promise that this will take you from the verge of divorce. I'm not going to make those kinds of promises, but I do know that they can make a very strong difference. The other big influence in this is from Dr. John Gottman, who's a researcher who has studied relationships for over 40 years. And he came up with some great information that he's put out. And what he came up with were the 4 things that are absolutely toxic in a marriage or a relationship, and what he calls the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And we will talk about that throughout the next few days. And the last are some of my own observations and things that I have noticed from nearly 18 years of marriage now that I want to pass on to you to help make things easier. So today we're just going to talk about what the 7 guidelines are, and then we're going to take one a day for 7 days, and then we'll wrap up the last 2 days with another piece that really helps bring it all together to make it all far more effective. So the 7 guidelines are: number 1, accept your partner as is. Number 2, express appreciation frequently. Number 3, communicate from integrity. Number 4, share and explore differences with your partner. Number 5, support your partner's goals. Number 6, give your partner the right to be wrong. And number 7, reconsider your wants as goals that you may achieve later. So like I said, we're going to take one a day. So tomorrow we are going to talk about accepting your partner as is, which what I always say is, I think, one of the most difficult. So we'll start with the most difficult, and then we'll go through this for about 2 weeks. And so stay tuned. If you don't get a chance to watch it live, watch the video when you get a chance. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.